this will be recorded. So life skills, to say the least, this is a course that will help us understand different skills that each one of you need to know and how you should respond to different situations as you continue through your training. You also learn how to take care of yourself when at times work, and this is schoolwork, is very demanding. And I should also indicate from an earlier onset that you would be subjected to a lot of material within a short period of time. So because of this, it is important that you learn skills of coping with this pressure that will come your way. Then apart from that one, you also have an opportunity to acquire knowledge and the skills that will help you relate with others without so much difficulty. The issue of socialization is one thing that a good number of us, we are not good at. Being in an academic institution, it means that you need to learn on how you can socialize with others. Objectives, firstly, we would need to define life skills. What are life skills? Then apart from that, we'll also go through describing different life skills, their importance to your life and how you can apply them in your day-to-day life. Furthermore, we also want to describe and develop the different coping and self-management skills. How do you manage yourself as a student? We will also go through the issue of developing interpersonal and communication skills. Now, this is true because each one of us, we communicate to ourselves, and later on, we need to communicate to others. So how do we do that? These skills will be learned. Okay, so one thing that is true is that each one of us, regardless of your background, regardless of where you're coming from, we have challenges or difficulties as we pass through this life. And because of this, there is need that one, we attain skills that will help us pass through life without so much difficulty. It is for this reason that these life skills need to be acquired by all of us who are logged in and all of us who probably listen to this later. This is therefore a journey of self-discovery. I think, mark that. You need to discover yourself. And once you have discovered who you are, this will help you deal effectively with the daily demands that you will be encountering. Now, let's try to define what life skills are. And before we go through this, there is this activity which each one of us we need to do. Now, this activity indicates that you need to think about a time in your life when you faced or encountered a difficult situation. Indicate the actions that you took to overcome that problem. So I'll pause for a second. Those who have phones, you can screenshot what is being shown to you just now. So I'll pause for just few seconds. So jot down what has been reflected on this screen, and at a later time, tomorrow, you will be able to share what life difficulty you encountered. And apart from that one, you also be able to indicate to us how you overcome that problem. So try to all right, I think all of us, we have done the jotting down. Let's continue. Now, one thing that we need to understand that at a particular time, at your own time, you will discover that every individual, all of us, had a challenge at one time or another and used some form of skill in their everyday life to solve such a challenge. Some of us, it could be a challenge of being so much addicted to the phone. And this is one thing that I should also indicate. A good number of us, we spend so much time doing nothing, Facebooking, nothing, at the expense of learning. And that's why sometime back, someone said, this is a generation of screenagers, not teenagers, but screenagers, meaning people spend a lot of time on the screens of their phones. Okay? Let's define what life skills are. WHO, World Health Organization, has defined life skills as, take note, the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enable individuals to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. Let me go through that once. World Health Organization has defined life skills as, number one, the abilities. And these abilities, it's your capabilities, okay, to adapt to a situation. Secondly, this also calls for positive behavior, okay? Not negative behavior, but positive behavior. And if you have the ability to adapt to situations, coupled with you having the ability of having this positive behavior in your life, then you will be able to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of every day. I'll give you this example. A good number of us are very negative. Everything that happens in our lives, we still think it's all about us not being so blessed. No, I'm just cursed. And everything that we look at, we just want to find a negative situation. I'll give this example. This is a lady who is nicely dressed, okay? Then someone would say, she looks very nice, but the shoes, okay? No, this is a very nice jacket, but just the buttons. So it's all about negativity. But life skills demand that you will be so positive. At times, even when you come through school, a number of us would think that you are very sharp during your high school. When you come here, you get the 8, not even 80, but 8%. And in the end, those with weaker souls, they'll be so discouraged. But life skills is telling us that we need to be so positive. Therefore, life skills can be defined as the abilities that enable individuals to overcome the challenges of everyday life. Now, let's go through these types of life skills that we want to focus on. Okay? Now, these types of life skills, which we have already defined collectively as the ability to have the positive attitude in life and being able to adapt to severe situation that you may be faced with. Now, how many are they? So they can be categorized in 3. Number 1, coping and self-management skills. Coping and self-management skills. Number 2, critical thinking and decision-making skills. Number 3, interpersonal and communication skills. So types of life skills, 3 of them. Number 1, coping and self-management skills. Number 2, critical thinking and decision-making skills. Then the last one is interpersonal and communication skills. Hopefully, this is so clear. Types of life skills. Let's move on a bit. Now, let's begin with the very first one, which is a type of a life skill. Coping and self-management skills. Now, these are skills that will increase your ability to control your actions and behavior in response to everyday challenges. In short, this is all about discipline, the willpower, okay? Because willpower is defined as the ability of an individual to restrain themselves and be constant in life as they achieve objectives. All right. So coping, to cope is to adapt. Okay. Self-management, it's all about taking care of yourself. Now, this helps us to believe that we can make a difference in our world and affect change. Examples: effective study techniques, okay? Time management, self-discipline and dedication. Now, you should also know this, that all of us were so different. God wired us in a particular way. You cannot compare yourself to someone else. I think that thing should so sink in us. And the other thing is, even in life, we should not so much compare ourselves or compete with others. Some have said, firstly, compete with yourself. If today I got a 1, tomorrow I should not get a 1, I should get a 2. So I'm competing within myself, and in the end, I'm also emulating what others are doing. So examples of coping and self-management can only come, or we can achieve this skill if, number one, we manage our time very well. Number two, we are so disciplined. Then number three, we are so dedicated or committed. The school which we'll be joining, which you have joined rather, even this course which you have joined, is an extensive course that would require much of your commitment. And by the way, a lot have done this. So equally yourself, you can do that. Okay. Time management, very important. We have seen students, they have not been studying the whole semester. Then at the end, before an exam, they want to cram all the night studying with a teapot here. And in the end, early in the morning, they can't remember anything. So time management becomes so important. Very, 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 very important. I would wish that we mute ourselves. Okay, we mute ourselves. And this is the last notice with regards to muting ourselves. Let's go to the second one: critical thinking skills, decision-making skill. Critical thinking skills, decision-making skill. I should also indicate that Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia will be changing the way they have been bringing questions. What would happen is that they want also to start bringing critical thinking questions. Not questions such as, who is the president of Zambia? Anyone can guess and they get the answer, okay? But questions that maybe would require you to describe how this president came to that presidency, okay? So critical thinking skills or decision-making skill is the second classification of the skills that you need to attain. So these are skills that enable an individual to determine alternative solutions to a problem by analyzing situations and evaluating the future consequences of their present actions. What does this mean? Each one of us, we should reach a stage where when we are making a decisions, we should have several options, okay? We should have A, B, C, D, E. Then from there, you choose the very best answer or decision. And as you are doing that, you should also think of the end result of such a decision, okay? And apart from that, this will also help us in problem solving. Okay, you will be in school and there will be a lot of issues that will come your way, which would require your decision-making skills. So how do we make a decision? You list alternatives. After you've listed the alternatives or the options, you pick the very best one. And after you have picked that very best decision, you should also be ready to face the consequences that would come as a result of that decision that you have identified or picked. We have seen a lot who would come in school because of wrong decision making, they have failed to go through. Now it's up to each one of us because this is very individualized, meaning you need to make these decisions on a daily basis. By the way, decision making is something that is constant. It does not end on one day. Every day you need to make these decisions. Number 3 type of a skill that we need to attain is all about interpersonal communication skills. Okay, now one thing that is very true is that each one of us, we communicate within ourselves. Even before you start communicating with others, you could have communicated within yourself, could have wrestled within yourself, and then after which you are now trying to communicate with others. Now, this entails that individuals have to interact with each other or each person in the society. And again, you should also be able to relate to such people that you are mingling with without much difficulties. Now, this will include verbal and non-verbal communication, active listening, and the ability to express feelings and give feedback. A good number of us, you could be in a relationship that is so abusive. At times, it's failure to communicate effectively. And during this module, we'll try by all means to ensure that you learn on how you can communicate with others. Remember, it's very important that as you are communicating with others, you should also be very good at listening. People that communicate effectively, they are good listeners. There is no way you can continuously talk alone as if you're communicating to yourself. Okay? Apart from this, under these interpersonal communication skills, we will look at issues to do with negotiation. How do you negotiate? Assertiveness. Some of you, you don't know how to be assertive. Okay, your no should mean a no, your yes should mean yes. So all this will be taught and it will be an opportunity for all of us, I think, to know what we are trying to go through. Then apart from that, each one of us, we will again be taught on how we can resolve conflicts, conflict resolution. Some of you, you would come to school on your very first day, you have enemies. How do you resolve those conflicts? Because you cannot stay in a school surrounded by numerous enemies. We will also teach you on leadership and psychosocial support skills. This will be very important because it will ultimately be a way of helping all of us. Okay? Now, why do you think these life skills are very important? What could be the importance of going through this module and acquiring these life skills? Now, the other question that is so pertinent to each one of us is that, do you think life skills are important to you as an individual? So remember, when we began this session, there was a question that was posed to you. Again, there's this question: why do you think life skills are very important? You need to give answers and submit. Okay. Now, importance of life skills. Don't copy what I'll be teaching. Know how to do this on your own. Importance of life skills. Number one, they will equip you with skills that at the end of the day will help you cope with challenges that you may just face. Number two, they will build individual values and help you cope help you cope throughout overcoming, of course, obstacles of life. Then apart from that one, they also equip you to respond to changes in your culture and the lifestyle that you have led. When you come to university or a college like this one, there is a different culture that you discover. And some of you, it will be so shocking, but with life skills, you'll be able to just tune in without so much difficulties. It will also help you make informed decisions. Now, informed decisions are decisions that are made after one has a lot of information in their palm. Okay. Apart from this, it will also help you prevent yourself getting into issues to do with sexual misconduct. This, I think, is a stern warning. When you have come to school, you are not coming for sexual activity. That's aside. You have come for class and books. Secondly, substance abuse. Don't do drugs. Then lastly, the issue of violence, fighting. Okay, that should not be part of you. Then apart from this, the other importance of life skills is that they will enable individuals to develop good social relationships that are needed to promote physical, mental, and social well-being. It will also empower you to act responsibly, okay? And it will also help you make decisions out of a box, okay? And it will also increase on your will power. Then, apart from this, the reason why we want to teach you life skills during this week, it is to help you avoid negative peer pressure. Early pregnancies, we have seen students in a 3-year program, they are pregnant twice, 3 times. So it should be a skill that will help you against getting pregnant. Then early marriages. Anyway, you may meet a partner at his school, but of course, we are not saying that should inconvenience your education. Drug and alcohol abuse, and safe sex and HIV and AIDS infection. And on top of this, even STIs. Now, in summary of what I've been discussing is that research has proved that individuals that have developed their life skills have also been seen to have increased self-control, meaning the willpower, okay? And it has also actually demonstrated that these individuals who have developed their life skills, they're able to cope with anxiety, and they are also very good at resolving conflicts. Some of you, when you come through, even I think based on the history from your high school, some could have not been performing very well because of your anxiousness, but with life skills that will be taught. Then, apart from this, it has also been proven that when someone has been subjected to this module, it just improves their self-image, self-esteem, okay? And it also helps you have the ability to plan ahead and choose effective solutions to problems that you might face. So this is an introductory session that we just had with each one of you. And starting tomorrow, we will go into the nitty-gritties of what we are discussing. Tomorrow, we will discuss on one important topic, which is self-awareness. How many of you know yourselves? Okay? How many of you don't know yourselves? This will be answered in a more appropriate manner. I might be with you, or you will be with Mrs. Tembo, who will take you through, or myself. But just know that time will be communicated to you earlier enough so that you save your bundles and also you save your time here. So thank you for having this opportunity to have come through learning about life skills. This has been recorded and it will be shared. If you want to listen to it severally, you'll be able to be given that opportunity. So for now, we'll end here. We won't have our Google Meet session because it might just be too enough. But for now, we'll end here, having laid this background to this very important module, which we have begun with. So stay blessed.